Hello, this is Iron Spiderfist, and today we're gonna take a look at this trap design that Grian and BdoubleO used to trap GoodTimesWithScar in their newest Hermitcraft episode. So, first of all, I made some adjustments and redesigned it into 3 new traps which have basically the same function. And looking at this one first, you see this is basically a replica of the room that Scar had as his first storage system. The glass, you have to imagine, is netherrack, and every block is the same except of course these 2 slime blocks, which we will need later, and this glass block which hides the piston underneath. Otherwise it's nearly basically the same. Okay, if we take a look at this, I've built some redstone up on the outside of this. First of all, this one is a redstone clock. It's small. It's really easy to build, resource friendly. So basically you just need to push this button and it will send out a redstone signal, but because it has so much delay on these repeaters, this will go around and never stop as a clock until you break one of the repeaters or just push the button again at some time that this stays on at all times. So this redstone signal will be output right here to this block, and we can see first of all here a dispenser which is connected up with redstone. It has some arrows in it. So basically you fire this arrow to this target block, which will convert it to a redstone signal, activating this piston, activating this observer clock, which is going to activate right here, as we can see, a dispenser which is filled with glowstone so that the respawn anchor never runs out of glowstone. Second of all, we have this connected to these 2 pistons. This one, I've set it up so that the block is always right here at the first time it's activated, so that when you are inside here and look for something peculiar, you don't see much. So you see this one glass block and the 2 slime blocks, but otherwise you're not gonna wander too much. Then when this is activated, this piston will retract, taking this block with it, and on the other hand we've got this piston which will extend and then retract when this piston extends. So this repeater is just so that the timing is exactly the same, so that when this piston extends, this will retract, which will make it really reliable so that you don't have any other spawning possibilities other than those 2, and always spawn on one of these and then always fall through. And this redstone torch which is deactivated will be activated if this gets powered and this torch gets depowered. So we have a signal that then depowers this signal tower and depowering this hopper. So as soon as somebody goes down there and activates the respawn anchor, then you can push the button and this machinery will start to do its thing. Yes, so depowering this hopper, you no longer have an item inside, therefore this comparator will no longer detect anything, giving out no signal anymore. So depowering this redstone line and then activating this observer, which will send this flying machine down onto these 2 slime blocks, which will then in turn evaluate a few of the spawning spaces that are possible. So this one will no longer be possible to spawn on because of this block, and these 3 will also block anything from spawning right here on these 5 blocks and on this middle block, so that you only can spawn here and here. Yeah. if we take a look at this thing working, we see activating it activates the redstone clock, flying machine gets sent down, spawning spaces are evaluated, and we have each time either this piston firing or this piston firing. And if we take a look inside, then we can go down here and set our spawn right here. And if we were to kill ourselves, then we would spawn in one of those two spaces and fall down immediately. And this will work either way. You can't break out if you're in survival mode, because there's no possibility of breaking any blocks. And you could also make this a bit safer, so if I were to really try to get out, I would try to hop on this crafting bench or on top of this block. So you could push some pistons in and make this impossible, but really this one is really hard to get out because you don't have any possibilities of going anywhere, because as soon as you respawn, the block will be retracted underneath you. On this dispenser down here, you don't need to have that many arrows inside. It's enough that this piston fires once. And yeah, turning this off, you can just make it a constant pulse, and then you would have to break one of these repeaters and replace him to make this work again. Also, you would need to rebuild the flying machine or send it back up again, which in this case is not possible. So if you put a block in front of this observer, it will fire, but you need to replace the block here and then make it fire again. So this is a bit tedious and it's not really worth it. You could just rebuild it. Yeah. On this second occasion, we've got bit a smart system, I would say, but also this one you can pretty easily hide. So if you don't have the observer up here, one could come in, set his respawn point and not see this observer, or just don't care. So this is the one possibility. You will always respawn in this place, and as soon as you respawn, this piston down here will retract. This sticky piston will retract this glowstone block, sending you down and killing you basically. So what this system does differently is it detects the player as soon as you're in front of it. So breaking these strings, it's possible to break out of the system, which makes it fairly unreliable. And yeah, as soon as a string will be broken, you no longer have a glowstone block beneath you, so you will spawn on this side here, which will basically break the trap. But you've got this system with a short pulsener to make it so that the trap is reset. So you could basically, when you build it and have problems because you've put down there some mobs to kill you or something, then you could basically use this button to reset the trap if you don't want to go down and break the blocks and replace the blocks yourself. So this is basically just a zero tick a pulse shortener, yes, and yeah, that will send the signal right here. So you don't need both observers, you can just take the one below or the one from above, it doesn't matter. This is a sticky piston so that the block gets retracted and spit out again. And we've got an observer chain right here, which will basically use this node block to refill the dispenser again, which is quite important because otherwise you're soon gonna run out of lives and the person will spawn in the overworld and has to go all the way back to here, wherever this is. And yeah, this is a huge problem. So The last one is a bit bulkier. It also is a smart system, so you won't have any problems with wrong spawning or anything. So it always activates after you've spawned, no matter what. We've got also the reset piston right here, the reset button, so that you can reset it easily. These two blocks are really important because when you spawn and you don't have the blocks, it's gonna get really easy to break out. So you basically take a side step and you're out. This is a problem, but I've designed it so that it is fairly fast, and the signal does not have much delay from detecting that someone has respawned to retracting the piston. So, and the block, of course. So how this works is this observer observes any state, any difference in the state here, and will send up a redstone pulse as soon as somebody dies and respawns. So you die and you respawn, and this will take one of the quarters of the glowing effect right here, which the observer can detect and send out a signal into these node blocks, which this observer will detect, and so on. So this will send a signal right here and retract this block or push it back at the second time, so that it's reset all anytime you use this. Then we also have the exact same setup with the refilling of the respawn anchor, and if we take a closer look and maybe go into survival mode, which can be quite handy. So we've got survival mode right here. Then we're gonna set our respawn, which it should have done, and we're gonna kill ourselves. And yes, we spawned instantly and got killed because I have a command block down there which kills me instantly as I fall. So this is a pretty cool system. And if I try to break out, yeah, okay, that was because I didn't make the platform big enough. But if I try to break out, it does not matter because I always land back up on this block. So I would need to punch this out and then I can jump out. So if I kill myself again, I'm gonna respawn, I can jump out, and yeah, this is basically broken then. But you don't even get the time to replace the block, so you basically are in a killing loop. If I try to break it, I'm too slow. If you would use other blocks, it would be much more difficult, but in this case, it's just not possible to get out of this. That's it from me, guys, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like and comment down on anything on your mind, if it's some funny bits, if you have anything to add, if you've got maybe some cool ideas how to make this even better, just send a comment. I will read through all of them, and I hope you have a good day, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.